You know those cool movies or games that have insane and unbelievable futuristic weapons? Who would have guessed that things like lasers, railguns, phasers, and even unmanned drone weapons would become a reality? But that is exactly what is happening, and some of these weapons might be on the battlefield right now. Military snipers go through a lot of training. Regardless of the training that goes into becoming a sniper, there are just some people that have the talent and skill to be the best. But what if everyone could become the world's best sniper? With advanced technology, it is now possible for novice shooters to hit targets over incredibly long distances with pinpoint accuracy. No, it's not a futuristic gun, it's smart bullets, called Extreme Accuracy Tasked Ordnance, or EXACTO smart bullets. It's a product of DARPA, Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, and is a self-steering guided bullet that was developed to improve military snipers' accuracy while shooting over long distances and unfavorable conditions. This bullet has the ability to lock onto its targets and change direction while in mid-air, depending on wind speed changes and even the target itself moving. Kind of scary to think that once one of these bad boys has been fired at you, you better hope you can take cover. There probably isn't a better weapon that you could pair with EXACTO smart bullets than the phaser rifle, which was developed by the U.S. Department of Defense that blinds its targets and temporarily disorients them using two non-lethal lasers that operate on separate wavelengths. While it is true that the United Nations banned blinding laser weapons in 1995, the phaser effects are only temporary. But blind a target even for a few seconds, and it could be the deciding factor that allows a sniper to take out that enemy. Or it could disorient some hostage takers long enough for a SWAT team to take them out. Speaking of which, Special Forces have a lot of cool weapons at their disposal. One of those is the corner shot. It's basically a rifle that pivots in half and uses a high-resolution video camera to show you what the other half is pointing at. It was invented by a Lieutenant Colonel Amos Golan of the Israeli Defense Forces and made exclusively for SWAT teams, giving them the ability to shoot around a corner without putting themselves in harm's way or being seen by the enemy or hostage taker. The corner shot is made to accept different handguns, including the Glock 22 and 23, and it can also be fitted with a grenade launcher. Many of you are probably familiar now with the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA for short. This agency is constantly testing some futuristic weapons, and some of them aren't known to the public. But a Freedom of Information request to DARPA recently uncovered some really interesting things. Micro-air vehicles, or MAVs, and microelectric mechanical systems, MEMS, have been in the works since the 1940s and are essentially cyborg bugs and other winged creatures. Behind this bizarre form of military hardware, DARPA has been implanting different technologies into insects at the larva and pupa stage for the greatest chance of viability. Imagine having a controllable insect that could have a tiny camera or tracking device attached to it, or maybe even a micro-poison dart system. It's definitely something no one would expect and is ideal for surveilling enemy targets or even a government's own citizens. Scary stuff. As technology advances, more unmanned drones are going to end up on the battlefield. Why put soldiers in harm's way when a robot can do some jobs just as well? Some soldiers are probably grateful to see this little tracked monster roll up beside them. It's the Modular Advanced Armed Robotics System, MARS, and it is heavily armed so that it can be sent in to handle situations that are too dangerous to send soldiers into. This mini-tracked vehicle is really all business and can be armed with a 400-round M240B machine gun and a system that can launch 4 grenades at once. The MARS can also be used to cover soldier positions and, if needed, drag a wounded soldier out of a bad situation. It has a top speed of just 7 miles per hour, but it's fast enough to keep up with troops, and its battery lasts for 12 hours. If ground troops find that they need more firepower, then the Black Knight unmanned combat vehicle might also accompany MARS. Developed by BAE Systems, it is still being tested using advanced robotic technologies and could very well go into production soon. Like the MARS, it can be used for missions that are too risky to send a manned vehicle into, including forward scouting, intelligence gathering, and investigating hazardous areas. The Black Knight is controlled from a commander station which can be located inside a Bradley vehicle and also operated by a portable control device. It uses high-sensitivity video cameras, laser radar thermal imaging cameras, and GPS. This sensor suite allows the Black Knight fully autonomous driving, and the vehicle can be maneuvered and sent on planned routes without an operator's intervention. Basically, you could just pre-program this thing to go in and blow up the enemy, and that's what it would do. It's equipped with a 25mm cannon and coaxial 7.62 machine gun. It is powered by a 300-horsepower Caterpillar diesel engine, and it uses many of the Bradley's automotive components, making maintenance simple. Chances are that in future theaters you will see Black Knights accompanying main battle tanks, which can all link up together, target, and destroy the enemy. And speaking of main battle tanks, there are a couple of futuristic tanks that have been in development. One of the most interesting concepts is the CV90120T Ghost, which is the latest version of the medium tank built by BAE Systems. It has a lot of new features, including a new low-recoil 120mm compact tank gun. The main idea behind this tank was to bring heavy firepower to the front lines without the heavy armor of a MBT. But without armor, that leaves the tank vulnerable. So something else had to be done to keep this tank from being seen. That is where adaptive comes in. It is a high-tech camouflage system that uses modules that look a lot like cells in a honeycomb that cover the flanks of the armored vehicle. These modules are made of elements that can be cooled or heated up very quickly, as well as controlled individually, allowing different patterns to be created. These modules can be controlled and able to mimic its surroundings or even copy other objects, such as trucks and cars, which can be projected onto the panels from a detailed image bank. In other words, if you were the enemy and you're looking at this tank from a distance, you might see a truck or a car instead of a well-armed medium tank and not pay attention to it until it was too late. With all of these military drones out there, it would seem that the need for a defensive weapon against drones increases. Well, it turns out that the Army really does have a real-life phaser that can knock out an entire drone swarm with just one shot. Developed by Raytheon, the phaser can disable virtually anything electronic with the sweep of its 4-foot dish. Weaponized drones are a new threat to any military, but deploy the phaser unit, which is a high-powered microwave radiation transmitter that sits on top of a 2-foot shipping container, and say goodbye to any drones which can be disabled or even destroyed. It works by using advanced radar systems housed inside the container. The phaser, which is powered by a diesel generator, can direct a brief jolt of microwave energy in the direction of incoming drones, which fries all their control systems, stops their motors, and causes them to simply drop out of the air. This system could also be mounted on ships to stop drone attacks against aircraft carriers or other large military vessels. This would make it the perfect weapon complement with the LAWS laser weapon system. This $40 million 30-kilowatt laser is already installed and being used on American naval vessels and can be used to blind enemy forces as a warning, shoot down drones, disable boats, and take out helicopters. These laser systems are currently being tested against different types of missiles, such as cruise missiles, where a laser pulse could fry the guidance system, explode the warhead or fuel tank, or even damage the missile's engine, causing it to become unstable and crash. Hopefully not on its intended target. Even though this is an extremely powerful weapon at 30 kilowatts, the United States Army recently unveiled the most powerful laser weapon the world has seen to date. It is called the Indirect Fires Protection Capability High Energy Laser, or IFPC-HEL, which is said to be a 250 to 300 kilowatt weapon, which is 10 times more powerful than the LAWS. The reason behind the development of a more powerful weapon is to have the ability to shoot down larger targets, such as incoming cruise missiles. This new weapon will likely be truck-mounted and be accompanied by a powerful generator, and a firing position on high ground would allow it to engage targets at a maximum range before they could hit friendly forces. 4 of these vehicles are set to enter service in 2024. When it comes to the most devastating futuristic weapons, almost nothing can match the United States Navy's electromagnetic railgun. This monster cannon is the result of over a decade of development and testing and is capable of firing solid metal projectiles at over 4,500 miles per hour, which can slice through ship armor and smash through concrete structures over 100 miles away. The one problem that faces this system is the huge amount of power it uses to launch its projectile and the time it takes for that power to ramp up until it's ready to fire. Right now, scientists are still working on perfecting this weapon for maximum output without the weapon tearing itself apart when it fires. But when it does fire, look out! We hope you enjoyed the video. What do you think the future of weapons will be? Know of something we might have missed on our list? Let us know in the comments and we could feature that topic in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you will be the first to know when a new video arrives. Thanks for watching.